Hey everybody, good evening. This is John Losh, the Losh-Man here for Losh-Man's football cards number 2 for Thursday, October 24th, 2019. This video immediately follows Losh-Man's baseball cards number 23 for the same date. And I hope you got to view that video. And I forgot to mention on that video, my son and I have I mentioned that it was the 2019 World Series edition. And I forgot to mention that my son and I lives and works in Washington, D.C. And well, he travels all around the country, but his home base and the work base is out of Washington, D.C. And I'm here in Kansas City, Missouri. Have a little rivalry going over the World Series right now. He's rooting for the Nationals, and of course, I have an uncle in Houston, so I'm supporting the Houston Astros. And whoever the winner of that little rivalry is when he comes to town here in Kansas City for Thanksgiving next month has to buy Rother Bryant's barbecue. So I wanted to mention that. He texted me a picture the other day. So with him being at the Louisville Slugger factory in Louisville, Kentucky, when he was there for a conference for work, and I told him I was officially jealous of that. And then I decided, hey, I said, so you're supporting the Nationals, right? And he said, of course. I said, okay. So I put on my Astros T-shirt and said, okay, it's on. So anyway, again, but back to football cards. The football card for today is the 1990 score, number 21, Troy Aikman. 1990 score, number 21, Troy Aikman. There is the back of the card. Nice picture, Cowboys helmet on there. Nice big font of Troy Aikman's name on there. And according to the cardboardconnection.com, so thank you, cardboardconnection.com, for your helpful information on the internet about this set. The 1990 score football set was issued in 3 different releases. The primary set had the Emmitt Smith rookie card in there. It was 660 cards. Series 1 was cards 1 through 330. The rest were Series 2. There was a third release, which is a rookie and traded, or otherwise known as the 1990 score supplemental. It adds another 110 cards in all. And all the rookies in it are now Hall of Famers. They include Emmitt Smith, Junior Seau, and Cortez Kennedy. And these are all guys that I was watching when I first became a football fan in the mid-90s. Okay. I don't know if I told the story before, but I was never a football fan growing up. I collected baseball cards, didn't know their value. One of my best friends of 20 plus years by around the early 90s, that we later found out was my cousin, Robert Turpin, who I'll be spending the weekend with, hopefully next weekend in Monroe City, Missouri. Pulled out his baseball cards when I was over at his house back in the early 90s, and got me kind of into the hobby of card collecting officially, helped me to understand the value of them. Eventually, I got invited to people's homes for the Chiefs game or for lunch after church a lot of times, and people would have the Chiefs game going. And so I didn't want to be an idiot sitting there not knowing what I was watching. So I started asking questions. What's a first down? What does this mean? What does that mean? Next thing you know, this is when Joe Montana was quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Montana would fire one into the end zone. I'd be up on my chair going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden I'd feel embarrassed, like, wait a minute, I'm not a football fan. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I wonder if anybody's watching. So I would just, just kind of sit back down. But then I figured if you can't beat them, join them. So I started collecting just Chiefs cards. I was hanging out at a place called Collector's Kingdom at Metro North. Got to talking to the owner there, and eventually I bought a 94 score football pack from Kmart. Found some very valuable cards in it. He helped explain to me that football cards had just kind of taken over as an investment at that time. So I decided if you can't beat them, join them. So I started collecting all football cards in general. Like my baseball card set, sold it in a garage sale years ago. Didn't think I'd get back into it, but all of them didn't go. I still had some left over. And so when I decided to get back into the card collecting hobby here recently, I decided to do both baseball cards and football cards and do these videos and, things like that as well. So anyway, so I was watching Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Junior Seau and Cortez Kennedy, and I think I may have had at least some of these guys on my fantasy football teams when I played fantasy football in the mid-90s. The subsets of the set include the 1990 draft, Hot Guns, and you'll find players like John Elway in the Hot Guns. Ground Force, which you'll find players like Barry Sanders in. Crunch Crew, which you'll find players like Lawrence Taylor in. Rocket Man, which you'll find players like Andre Reed in. I remember I did have Andre Reed on at least one of my fantasy football teams. All-Pro, Record Breaker, Hall of Famer, and the Class of 1990. It had the Magic Motion tribute cards, 100 Hottest Stars, which was a 100 card value pack, and you can probably pick up Series 1 and 2 sets of the 1990 score football for today for $5 to $10. I haven't personally found a one just yet, but if I did, I'd probably pick it up for that price. So, but anyway, kind of going away from just doing the individual card again, wanted to show you guys probably my favorite all-time football cards. Okay, and that I got into when I got into the hobby back in the early '90s, mid '90s, I should say, and they're called Action Packed. And here's kind of what they look like. They're these really thick, embossed cards. Some people would complain that they're hard to get into a top loader, and yeah, that may be a little bit. You just got to work with them or whatever. But I really love the embossed features on them. I just think they're cool. The players are embossed. The lines here are embossed. Just everything's really cool about them. Here's what the backs look like. On the action packed cards, I just really like the action packed cards. I don't know why. But I've got this is a 1995 Rookie and Stars action pack Jeff Hostetler card. I've got All-Madden team. Here's for my little sis at church, Tori. I'm sorry, Tori. Here's a Minnesota Vikings. This is Chris Dolman, defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. This is the All-Madden team card, and here's what the backs of those look like. Here's what the back of the All-Madden cards look like. So, Tori, there's a Minnesota Vikings player for you. And here is another All-Madden team of a different year. This is Donnell Wolford of the Chicago Bears, Da Bears. So here's one from my pastor, Shane. There's one for you. The back of that looks like this. Okay. So here's another action-packed Rookie and Stars. Here is Eric Kramer of the Da Bears. Another one for Pastor Shane right there. I just gave him some football cards this past Sunday night of some of my duplicates that I got. Again, in that set from Enrique Castillo of Northland Baseball Cards and Collectibles, 6406 North Oak Traffic Way. Got this big, huge box of baseball cards from him here a while back. Probably at least 5,000 cards in there. There were also some football cards in there. There were also some duplicates of those, like there were the baseball cards. And I just gave a stack of cards to Pastor Shane on Sunday night and given him some of the baseball cards. He collects baseball cards as well. Kind of cool to have my pastor share my collecting hobby, so that's kind of cool. So here's Lawrence Taylor, one of the ones that was on the Crunch Crew, mentioned in the 1990 score cards. Here's another bear for you, Pastor Shane, Mike Singletary, All-Madden team of the action-packed. And Tori, here's another one for you. Here is Jack Del Rio, linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. Here's another action-packed 95 Rookie and Stars, Tim Brown, the Raiders. Okay. Another one of those. Here's action-packed Monday. Here's action. I love this action-packed Monday Night Football edition. Action-packed Monday Night Football edition. There's Rocket Ishmael. Okay, and there's the back of the Monday Night Football action-packed cards. Here's another one of the other All-Madden team. Here's Kevin Gogan, offensive lineman for the Raiders, the other All-Madden team of the action-packed cards. So I really love the action-packed cards. Probably second to the action-packed cards, if I can get these out of this box here, those little clear plastic collector's boxes. Probably second to the action-packed cards as far as my really liking of them are the Pinnacle or the these are action-packed too, but they're Pinnacle action-packed. And so here's Rodney Hampton of the New York Football Giants. Rodney Hampton, the New York Football Giants. Here's the back of that card. It's got embossed features as well. It's got kind of a football looking kind of text, look down here at the bottom. And then here's another one for you, Pastor Shane. Bears, Curtis Conway. Okay, Curtis Conway. This is card number 44 of that set. And again, back of the card. Okay, so I really love these action-packed cards. The Pinnacle action-packed cards, the action-packed cards, the action-packed Rookie and Stars, the action-packed Monday Night Football. Just love them. Just love these cards. So I had a bunch of them back in the day before I got rid of my previous football card set. But I really hope to run across some other ones because I only have those few that I just showed you in my current collection, unfortunately. I'd love to have a larger collection of those. So those are my favorites, are the action-packed embossed football cards. So hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Losh-Man's Football Cards number 2 for Thursday, October 24th, 2019. And hope you are following the Lord Jesus Christ every day of your life. Get into his word. Get into a good Bible-believing, Christ-exalting, Christ-preaching church that preaches the Bible from cover to cover uncompromisingly, does not back down on anything that Scripture says for anybody, preaches it as truth, and preaches that Jesus Christ is God, he is man. He came from heaven above, was born of a virgin, lived a perfect sinless life, was, he taught, he healed, he taught us, how to live, yes, but he also taught us how to die, okay? As he, was falsely accused, falsely arrested, beaten, crucified on the cross of Calvary, rose again the third day, is seated at the right hand of the Father as our intercessor to him, and is the only way to heaven. Hope that that's the Jesus Christ that you're following. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video, and there'll be more to come here in the future, and hope you're having a great week so far, and looking forward to a good weekend here. And again, beloved, if I don't see you in the sports card shop, if I don't see you here, I'll see you in the air.